Okay, so in this lesson we are going to talk about energy. Energy is essential to understanding chemistry. Okay, understanding energy. Yes. So, what is energy? First of all, let's define something easy. Kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is, we can say, is energy due to motion. So if you have a moving object, we say that that object has kinetic energy. And kinetic energy is defined to be simply 1/2 times the mass of the object times the square of its speed. Okay, so you square the speed. So you can write that as 1/2 mv squared. So what basically does this mean? If you have the same object, so the faster that object is moving, the more kinetic energy it has. Because if you're dealing with the same object, you have the same mass, 1/2 the same number. The bigger the v, the faster it's moving, the higher the kinetic energy. Or if you're comparing two different objects, okay, if you have two objects that are at the same speed, moving at the same speed, okay, so if the v is the same, but one object has a bigger mass, the heavier object, in layman's terms, we say the object with more mass is the heavier one. The one with the bigger mass would have a higher kinetic energy. So, for example, a truck versus a bicycle, okay, moving at 5 miles per hour, you wouldn't want to stand in front of a truck. It's got more kinetic energy than a bicycle, even if they're moving at the same speed. Okay, the unit for kinetic energy is the joule. The SI unit is an example of a derived unit, and you can derive it from the fundamental units. The base unit for mass is kilograms, and the unit for speed is meters per second. But since you have to square the speed, you have to square your meters per second, right? So that's kilograms meters squared per second squared. So the -2 there in the exponent means your second squared is actually in the denominator. So let's look at this example. Calculate the kinetic energy of a nitrogen molecule with a mass of 4.65 times 10 to the -26 kilograms, moving at a speed of 500 meters per second. Pause to give you a little time. Alright, so let's work this out. So you have kinetic energy equals 1/2 mv squared. It's good practice when working problems to write what's called the working equation, the equation that you're going to use to solve what it is you're looking for, in this case kinetic energy. So the formula is 1/2 mv squared. So 1/2, and then you plug in the mass. You plug in the values for the variables in your expression. So the mass is 4.65 times 10 to the -26. And don't forget to plug in the unit, include the unit when you plug it in. And then the speed is 5 times 10 to the second, so 5.00 times 10 to the power 2 meters per second, and that is squared. Okay. And then you can say that that's equal to, okay, I can just go ahead and plug the numbers into a calculator. So you have 0.5, that's 1/2, times 4.65 times 10 to the -26. So I have to make that negative. This EXP here, this is the same button you'll have in your calculator if you have a Casio. But if you have a TI calculator, that's going to be EE on a TI calculator. Okay? So 4.65 times 10 to the -26 times 5.00 times 10 to the 2, and that is squared, so I press the square button right here and enter, and that's the answer. I'll put that in scientific notation. That's 5.81 times 10 to the -21. Okay, 5.8125 times 10 to the -21. Now let's check our significant digits. This string has 1, 2, 3 significant digits. This is 1, 2, 3 significant digits. This 2 right here is an exact number. That 1 is an exact number. So the less precise factor here is the one with the fewest sig figs. Both of them have 3, so your answer should have only 3 sig figs. 1, 2, 3 significant digits. So your answer is 5.81 times 10 to the negative 21. So I have to drop this. Oh, I have to drop the 25 here. And then don't forget your unit. This should be kilograms. And then you have, this is meters squared. So kilograms times meter squared times times second to the negative 2. So kilogram meter squared per second squared. Or you can rewrite that as 5.81 times 10 to the negative 21 joules. Okay? Oops.